This YouTube video is about scoring a squash doubles game.
Hi, I'm Lynn, and Gary is the techie and my colleague for this project. Gary, what is key to a good score?
The key to success is keeping an accurate record while not disrupting the flow of play on the court.
So at the end of a match, if a referee and scorer were hardly noticed, they did a great job. The main focus of this video is the role of the scorer. The scorer assists the referee by writing down the score and calling the score. Ideally, how many officials oversee a match?
There are 4 officials, a referee, scorer, and 2 line judges. However, that is ideal. The majority of matches do not have 4 officials.
So what is typical for, say, a league or early rounds of a tournament?
The role of scorer and referee are often rolled into one. It's really great to have support of line judges so that appeals can be dealt with.
This presentation focuses on writing down the score and announcing the score, and that is the job of the scorer. The roles of referee and scorer are described quite separately and are intended to be done by 2 people.
In the case that a scorer is not assigned, the referee also takes on the role of the scorer. What must we be aware of, Lynn?
Well, according to Squash Canada manual, the referee makes all calls and decisions. Before calling the scorer repeats any decisions made by the referee. Practically, we find this duplication can be annoying and cause confusion. Sometimes it's difficult to find someone to oversee a match. An inexperienced player may be willing to keep score, but not take on the referee duties. In this situation, just tell the players you can keep score for them, but they make all the calls on the court. This video will help you develop skills for the role of scorer.
There are 16 cells following each player's name. We call that their activity line. There is a number line 0 to 15. We will refer to particular columns when data is to be entered.
The essential bits of information are coded by what and where you write. The essentials to know and record for each point are who just served, who is serving now, which box, and what is the score. As a side wins points, their entries move along the point columns to show their score and box.
There are some preliminary tasks for the scorer before the match begins. Information on players should be gathered well before the first serve. A good time is before or after the warm-up period. Enter the names of the teams at the top of the sheet in Team A and Team boxes. For significant matches, enter date, time, event, teams, referee, score, line judges.
The referee is in charge and manages introductory matters such as getting to know the players and identifying the other officials. If you are both referee and scorer, be sure to let the players know the situation regarding officials. The referee should ask the players to spin for service in advance, as well as ask who is first hand for each team. A little time is needed to enter names on the score sheet and should be done ahead. For subsequent games, the winning side usually chooses to serve first. Check with teams each game for first hand and sides. The referee is also responsible for materials, score sheets, clipboards, pencils, balls, extra balls. Those should all be available.
The team winning the spin usually chooses to serve. The team to serve first is called the initial side. It's usually placed on the A team with first hand on top.
The RW, right wall, and LW, left wall, are not essential, but it makes it a little easier here to keep track of the players.
Let's have a look at live scoring in the Club Locker app. This is how the setup should appear when you first begin. Cho and Gaston win the racket spin and are serving first. Cho is first hand and chooses to serve from the right box.
Enter R in Cho's activity line in point column 0 to show she is serving first to begin the game. We are showing what to say in quotes. What the referee calls is above the score sheet, and what the scorer announces is below. Announcing the score of a match can be different depending on the experience of the players, the spectators, and the significance of the match. The first call is a clear signal to players and spectators the match is underway. Gary, give a common introduction.
Cho serving from the right. Love all, play. We will also show the score in the top right corner in the Club Locker live scoring app. Team A wins the first point. Down.
The referee would call the end of the point when the ball is no longer good. Down indicates the ball did not reach the front wall fairly. There are two other common ends to a rally. The call out indicates the ball has gone out of court, i.e., has touched the upper outline or above. The call not up indicates the ball bounced twice or was scooped. If you are wearing two hats, you would make one of those three calls as the referee, then announce the score at the appropriate time. Get into the habit of following the sequence. Who just served? Knowing the last server guides you to where the next entry will be. Who is serving now? Which box? What is the score? Who just served? Well, Cho. That is where the next entry will be made. Who is serving now? Cho is still serving. Which box? Left. Cho must serve from the left. Once a side begins serving, they must alternate service sides continuously. What score? Enter L in Cho's point column 1. For clarity, new entries are in red and the previous ones turned black. Be sure to complete the entries before announcing the score. Don't allow play to begin until the score is announced. Ideally, you should not slow the pace of the game. Entering the data quickly is crucial, and be ready to announce the score to signal the next serve. The players will quickly judge the competence of the official, and that matters. If the server is ready to serve and has to wait for the score call, that is not good. If the call is not concise, experienced players will notice.
One, love. Team A wins the next point. Not up.
Follow the box rotation. So right, left, right. Enter R in Cho's point column 2. As points are won, the R's and L's advance along the point columns.
2, love.
Hey, Garrett, why not 2-0 or 2-0?
Well, then, who knows for sure, but it may be a French influence and a reference to love for egg, like goose egg when we refer to 0 or nothing. We will use terms that are preferred, such as love. There are no rules for scoring, but rather guidelines that reflect best practice. Saying 2-0 or 2-0 is not wrong, but it's not common and therefore not advised. Team A wins the next point.
When it's an obvious winning shot, there's no need for the ref to say something. Remember the flow. Who just served? Who's serving now? Which box? What is the score? On Cho's activity line, enter L in point column 3.
3, love. Team A loses the next point. Team A is now side out. Team B is coming in. They chose Zoya as their first hand before the game started, so she can choose the side to serve from. Down, side out.
This referee call is made when the point is decided and it declares a change in server. More care is needed at every change of server. The players may need a little extra time to adjust with the server change. Who just served? Cho. Add a slash on Cho's point column 3 to mark the handout. Team A only gets one serve to start the game. So enter a slash on Gaston's point 3 column. As handout, slash for the second server means it's side out. Who's serving now? The player in the first row of Team B is Zoya. She serves first hand. Which box? Wait to see which service box Zoya is heading towards. She chooses right. What score? Enter R in point column 1 to record Team B's first point. For Team A's score, look at the furthest point column with an entry. The last entry is 3.
Hey, Lynn, do I as a scorer say 3-1?
Oh no, the score is also in the order server, receiver. B team is serving and has 1 point. A has 3 points.
Side out, 1-3.
Gary just announced the score correctly. If there are several spectators, he could use the opportunity to introduce Zoya. Gary will give an alternate call.
Zoya coming in, 1-3. Team A loses the next point, not up.
Continue with the alternating service box rotation on Zoya's activity line. Enter L in her point column 2.
2-3. In this rally, Gaston hits the ball just above the back wall line. He immediately says out. Thank you, ball is out.
The players will often, in the spirit of fair play, declare if a ball is down or not up or out. Who just served? Zoya. Who is serving now? Zoya is still serving. Which box? Right to continue the rotation. What score? Enter R in Zoya's point column 3.
3-all.
Gary, is all another one of these preferred terms?
Yeah, it is certainly common rather than 3 each, 3-3, or tied at 3. A let is requested by Ariel. Yes, let.
When a player requests a let, the referee has 3 options. He may grant a let, which means the point is replayed. He may deny the let, which means the point stands as played. And thirdly, he may award a point to the offended team. The referee grants the request with yes, let given, or simply let. If it's denied, no let. If awarded, point to Ariel. An older term that is still used is stroke. So instead of saying point, I say stroke.
Lynn, what does the scorer do when there is a let requested?
In this case, there is no change in the score, so do nothing to the score sheet. Otherwise, one team or the other will get a point. Just treat it like any other point 1. But if you are wearing 2 hats, you will have to deal with the requested let.
Playing a let, 3-all. Team B loses the next point, down and out.
Zoya has lost serve. This is a situation when there is another change in server. Team B is still serving, but now it's second hand. So who just served? Zoya. To mark the hand out, add a slash in Zoya's point column 3. Who's serving? Ariel is second hand, must continue the service box rotation. So it's left box. What score? Place an L in Ariel's point column 3 to show no change in B's points. Place an X in Team A's activity line to move Team A's point counter to 4.
Handout, 3-4. Team A wins the next point, down, side out.
Who just served? Ariel. It's side out Team B. Add a slash in Ariel's point column 3 to mark the hand and side out. Who is serving? Choi is coming in. Which box? Wait to see which service box Choi is choosing. Don't assume she'll choose right because she started the game here. Choi this time chooses to come in on the left. What score? Enter L on Choi's point column 5. Team B remains at 3. It is a little unusual for the right waller to come in on the left. The score may emphasize that this is the case with this call.
Cho coming in from the left, 5-3. Cho's service is a fault, foot fault.
If you're going to call foot faults as a referee, do it consistently and do it early in the game so players are aware.
Second serve, 5-3. Cho double faults. Double fault, hand out.
Who just served? Choi. Guess who buys the beer? Add a slash in Choi's point column 5 to mark the handout. Who's serving now? Gaston is second hand. Which box? Gaston must serve from the right. What score? Enter R in Gaston's point column 5. Enter an X to move Team B's point counter to 4. If there's a delay, like going to the front to get the ball, repeat the referee's call. If no delay, keep it sparse.
5-4. The game advances to Team B, serving 12-13. A let is requested by Ariel. No let. Side out. Team B loses the point.
Who just served? Ariel. It's side out Team B. Add a slash in Ariel's point column 12 to mark the hand and side out. Who is serving now? Cho is coming in. Which box? Cho is heading to the right box. What score? When a team reaches 14 points, the next point could end the game. The term game ball is added to the score.
Playing no let. Side out. 14-12. Game ball.
This is game 1, but later in the match, the next point could not only end the game, it could end the match. The term match ball is added to the score. Game ball or match ball should be announced at the first opportunity, but not for subsequent points. The two terms should not be combined. Game and match ball is not good form. It's also poor form to say possible game ball.
And the suspense continues. Do Cho and Gaston cinch it? Or do Zoya and Ariel pull off a comeback win?
How much is too much and how little is too little? The game is for the players, not the officials. Some players are annoyed with excess information. The best thing is to ask players what they prefer. Do you want just the score or server, side, and score? For some situations, that sparse 3-4 is not enough. Alternatives are from the right, 3-4, or coming in, 3-4. You should be sensitive to clues that indicate a player is unsure. Ariel, you're coming in at 3-4. Or simply point to the box to be served from. There are various ways to convey the change in servers. We have consistently used the same terms throughout. Side out, 5-2. Has a few variations. Choice, 5-2. Side in, 5-2. Coming in, 5-2. Cho, coming in, 5-2. We've only looked at one term, side out. If you like choice, use it all the time. If you like side out, stay with it. Do not mix and match. The spectators are also consideration. We should make the experience understandable and easy to follow. Whatever you do, being consistent will be seen as competence.
For our final slide, we'd like to offer some hints and tips. Lynn, what's the first one?
Get into the habit. Who just served? Who's serving now? Which box? What is the score?
Keep an accurate record while not disrupting the flow of play on the court.
Don't allow play to begin until the score is announced.
Pick up cues from the players regarding too much or too little to announce.
Don't rely on your memory. Learn to read your own score sheet.
Keep your pencil on the cell of the player serving.
Be clear and loud enough so that players can hear what you are saying.
Be neutral with your tone of voice.
When you don't know the players, pick out something to identify each person.
Lynn, do you have an example of that?
Yes, it was a rather tense time refereeing a match in Portland. There were 4 guys my age, so everyone with white hair, and it was a whites only club, so everyone dressed identically, and it seemed to take forever for me to sort out which player was which. So do try to figure out who's who before you start.
In dubs, there are moving bodies and things going on at a really fast pace. After a long rally, it's easy to forget what just happened a few seconds ago. That's why the players on the court appreciate having you there. Well, Lyd and I hope this video will build your confidence as a dubs scorer.
Have fun out there.